There was 2 draft days. It was draft day, like I was going to get drafted. It didn't happen, and I was devastated. And then day 2 happened, and day 2's like on the computer. Teams are just running through it, and my name got called for the Toronto Blue Jays in the 10th round. I always wanted to be a Major League Baseball player, and that was just a stepping stone to my dream.
When I first met Danny, I didn't think he was that great of an athlete. We went to, kind of a small school that wasn't known for sports. His draft party day was so exciting. It was his dream coming true, which is really cool to see, especially.
Danny was a professional baseball player who pitched for many teams such as Toronto Blue Jays, Oakland Athletics, New York Yankees, and etc. He is now known by many.
So, professional life. Spring training is based in Florida and Arizona. I played for, I think, 7 or 8 different teams. So my spring training from year to year would bounce from Florida to Arizona. So traveling is something you got to get used to. One season in 2012, I was on 5 teams in 6 weeks. My wife, Lexi, was traveling with me, and we had our daughter, Madison. We were on a road trip in Binghamton, New York, and she drove down to New Jersey to move into our apartment. She moved in like half of our things, and after that baseball game, I got called up to AAA with the Yankees, back up to Binghamton to pick me up, and then to Rochester, all in one day. The uncertainty of it and travel are the biggest ways to explain it.
Especially in the minor leagues, that was a really wild time for us. Danny's career has always been pretty, lots of teams, lots of trades, lots of craziness. So we just kind of rolled with it. I thought that's what baseball was all about. We would move at the drop of a hat, just a few hours notice. And it was fun because we got to see a lot of parts of the country that we never would have experienced before. No planning was involved. It was all last minute things, which was, you have to let go of control in that kind of life.
Later in Danny's life, his professional pitching career all ended on a life-threatening event. He had a brain aneurysm.
My last memory was walking out to the bullpen that day. My aneurysm ruptured while I was pitching, and they said it was completely normal to have this amnesia because the body decides on what's important and what's not important. And obviously my memory, say 2 hours before my brain aneurysm ruptured, was not important. And to this day, I still have no memory. But how people explained it to me was coming into the dugout and telling them how excruciating of a headache I had. And then I threw up, and then I passed out.
So I didn't see that video until way after. I was watching it on the TV. He had already done his outing, so I stopped paying attention to the game. I saw there was commotion in the dugout, and I thought maybe somebody got angry. One of the players was throwing something, so I didn't pay any mind to it. And it wasn't until maybe like a week after his accident that I actually saw the video, which was pretty surreal to me. Seeing the moment when it happened kind of brought me back through those original panicked, kind of wild emotions.
This unfortunate event did not end it all for Danny. This event occurred during a baseball game, and many people were saying it is the best place this could have happened. He still lives happy with his family inside of a nice house in a wonderful neighborhood.
Probably 4 days after I got into the ICU, my wife Lexi walked me into the bathroom, and I looked into the mirror, and my head looked like there was a softball on the side of my head. Counted 33 staples, just dazed, not knowing where I was, not knowing what happened. And my first concern was what time baseball practice was.
So I didn't know much when he first went to the hospital. The 2 little boys were sleeping. Landon and Liam, really little, not much I could really say to them. But Madison was older. She was 6 at the time, and she was in a playroom that they have for players' kids. And so I had to grab her and kind of calmly tell her we needed to go to the hospital. She panicked. I just told them that some things happened and we're going to the place where we can get answers. From the surgery, I was so thankful just that he was awake. When he woke up, he still had a breathing tube in. And at first I didn't know if he recognized who I was, but I tried to walk away from him and I had been holding his hand, and as I got up to go, he squeezed my hand as hard as could be and pulled me right back. It was the absolute best feeling in the world. It was a really great moment.
The biggest impact it's had, I would say two things. One is to not take any days for granted. You know, you have plans next week, you might make some silly choices that put you at risk. You never know when anything's gonna happen. So just don't take any days for granted. The next thing I took from it is not to sweat the little things. You know, you get grounded and you miss out on a birthday party, something that's out of your control. Don't sweat the little things, just enjoy life.
It's influenced our lives in ways that I never imagined it could have. We've always been very family oriented. We always lived in the moment. That was always our priority. You always get caught up on the little things. What does somebody think of you? Do I have the right things? All of those big things were always kind of that pressure that was put on all of our shoulders. In an instant, I've learned that it could all be taken away from me, and I would take the worst day in the world I've ever had, that I'm upset and everyone's yelling, but everyone's here, than a day without my family, without my husband and my kids. So that was the biggest thing, that we're all gonna have bad days, but it pushes me through that I'll take a bad day with these people than another day without them.
Danny and his family still live happy in their house as a family with a unique story to tell.
Enjoy every day, because you never know when your last one is.